Hey guys, my throat is still not fine, but welcome to this Manchester United warehouse. Um, a bit of an update from Fabrizio Romano and Ben Jacobs over the last few hours. They have stated the fact that, and even Sky Sports, Kave Solokol has reported the fact that if it's going to unravel the, now I'm talking about the Bruno deal, it's going to take place this week, and we already know about the fact that. The agent of Bruno Fernandes was in Saudi Arabia. We know the exact hotel that he was contacting Al Hilal in. Also, we have come to know the fact that there have been Zoom calls between the Al Hilal board and Bruno Fernandes. They've explained the project to him, and there are a few speculations around the fact that Bruno Fernandes has accepted the offer. Now, we have to realize the fact that there's life changing money on the table for both parties here, Manchester United and Bruno Fernandes. And you cannot really blame either party for taking ahead such a deal. Now, what are my views around this? I think the Fabrizio Romano tweet that went out recently, um, it has stated the fact that the agent is again in contact with Al Hilal. And okay, so first, and assumptions can be made that he's also talking to Manchester United. He's brokering a deal. Um, Now it's safe to state the fact that Manchester United, if they did not want to let him go, would have suppressed this after the first round of exchanges between his agent and the club. And I don't think they've done that to a degree, to a professional degree, in my opinion. If because if you really want to keep a player, you do that very efficiently. Yes, our manager has been crying out for him, and he certainly wants at least the image he's portraying. Certainly, he wants Garnacho and Bruno Fernandes both to stay, but we know the facts behind the scenes. He wants Garnacho gone. Don't really believe. Um, I don't really believe him with the Bruno case. I think it doesn't fit his system. Now with Cunha being announced for sure, he's in and he'll occupy one of the inner 10 positions. I think. Do you want to play Bruno in the pivot? I don't know. And Ruben Amorim could not be that stupid, in my opinion. He would not um, put the entire balance of the team to a player who is not really capable of playing in that position, to be very honest. Now, we saw Vitinha and how he orchestrated a brilliant performance out of PSG yesterday. And can Bruno do that? I don't think so. Uh, and PSG is actually a great example. They sold a lot of their great players. They all or they let him go and assembled a team of youngsters, and they triumphed. Do United do United see that and take inspiration from it? I hope they do. I really hope they do. Bruno Fernandes, he's been a great servant of the club, and I was seeing the overlap episode actually, and a lot of criticism for Manchester United ex players and legends. But can you really deny what Paul Scholes said? Can you see him in a great team? Do you see Bruno Fernandes in that PSG squad? Who would he replace? Does he replace Vitinha? Does he replace Brian Ruiz? I don't think he does that. Um, do we even see him at the at Inter? Maybe yes, maybe instead of Henrik Mkhitaryan, but that's because he's 36 years old, doesn't have the legs. So you have to bring in these crazy situations to imagine Bruno in these top teams. Do you see him at Bayern Munich? Do you see him start for a Pep team? Do you see him at Spurs for that matter? I don't, to be honest, and I won't be disillusioned by the fact that he has been a great player in a very average era at Manchester United. And I would also not, I would also not take the conversation around his role as captain and whether it suits him or not lightly, because I don't think he's suitable to be Man United captain now. I see a spider rolling around my mat, so that's why my eye line was going right. But yeah, let it be. Um, he's running like a headless chicken, much like Bruno Fernandes, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, look, freeing up Bruno Fernandes means we have to bring in a midfielder to play alongside Ugarte or Menu or Casemiro. I think you cannot start all the three of them without an inclusion, in my opinion. I think Kobe is the most complete option. Even though he hasn't had form, I think Kobe is the better player amongst the other two, Ugarte and Casemiro. So do you bring in Edison with the money that Bruno will generate? Could be between 80 and 100 million. A lot of people are saying to to reject the first bid and take them for a toss. But I think 80 million is a respectable amount of money we can get out of Bruno Fernandes. I think it's a lot of money. I would put him in the market for less than 80 million, maybe 50 to 70 million would be actually apt for a player of his caliber, in my opinion. So yeah, I mean, does it make the balance better? I think certainly yes. Would I have seen would I have wanted to see Bruno lift major trophies at Manchester United? Certainly, I'm not a pessimist that way, but I just cannot see him lifting trophies, the big ones at Manchester United, because he isn't a player of that caliber, in my opinion. And I have been vocal about that. Yes, if Marcus Rashford is going, a player that is responsible for a lot of good moments, to be honest, a player now, Usman Dembele's 33 goals this season, and he's getting nominated for the Ballon d'Or. Yes, he has won a lot of trophies. Marcus Rashford, Derek Ten Hag first season, 31 goals. Uh, Not even chosen for the Ballon d'Or. Does it come down to his performances? I don't know. Call me delusional, but I think it came down to the impact scores or whatever the Ballon d'Or ratings are around trophies. Um, I think Marcus Rashford had a brilliant season, and I don't think Bruno Fernandes has had that great a season at Manchester United. To be honest, yes, his first season with Oli was phenomenal. He was scoring, but a lot of penalties that very season. Uh, so yeah, I mean, am I happy that Bruno is going? I'm indifferent. I care about Manchester United. I want them to move forward and not get bogged down by a player or two. I think if we are going to rebuild, it has to start from the core. It has to start with our captain. Um, uh, and yeah, I mean, really, really looking forward to um, the new signings that our board decides to give us. Now, the big caveat is whether the 80 to 100 million that we are getting from Bruno Fernandes gets funneled into Manchester United's transfer budget. Now, there could be two scenarios. Yes, that could happen, but there's a big thing to understand. We are at a negative of 300 million owed to clubs for previous transfers. Now, a lot of our players will be sold, but the amount of money that we have potentially asked for them, 30, 40 million, I don't think that could be uh, 30, 40 million for Anthony Garnacho. I don't think that's a realistic amount of money we can get out of them, maybe with add-ons and stuff like that. But um, Bruno has to be the big chunk. But does that amount of money directly go into our transfers, or does it go to the negative 300 million that we owe to clubs? I don't know. The negative 300 million is a lot of money that is burning a hole in our pockets right now. And even if you are selling your brightest asset to get uh, that like detrimental amount of money, um, that negative amount of money from your books down. Now, there is a lot of accounting and amortizations that go into football finance, and I understand that, but still, money earned, you can put it anywhere you want. Now, I'm not asking the board to do that. I would definitely want Manchester United to sign a couple of players here and there. But yeah, even if we bring in players worth 50 million, let's say, sell him for 100. bring in players for 50 million to 25 million pound players each. I think, yeah, Bruno, we might be worse off in the beginning. They might require time to uh, get used to the league, but could be a situation we can essentially look forward to, in my opinion. And yeah, that's how I'd essentially conclude this video. Hope you like the content. A bit abrupt. Most of my content is going to be like that. If you liked it, do like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to deal with the spider. And ciao. I'll be catching up with you later this week.